You're listening to the Mopcast Network.
Welcome, cultists.
I didn't say hi that time.
You didn't.
I know. I didn't know. It was like,
but it was like
I
an
felt you were
awkward.
talking
We
to our
all
guest
looked
again.
around.
I was. See, you're learning. You're learning. So again, welcome, cultists.
Yes, welcome, cultists. That's what I'm going to do.
Welcome.
I'm your Native American pop culture spirit guide, Scotty, and I'm joined by...
The Lady of Libations and your facilitator of fun, Stephanie.
Justina.
who's still our neophyte.
Neo, like from Matrix, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to go by Morpheus.
No.
Morpheus.
You're not allowed to go by Morpheus.
I do my own introduction, so I am Morpheus.
Oh, so that's what you're going to be?
No, I take it back.
Justina or Morpheus?
No.
I mean, you
I
get
need
to
a
pick
better
your name.
name.
Yep, you get to pick a name. Our audience out there, if you have suggestions for Justina, our neophyte, what kind of title can she hold?
All of them. Challenge accepted.
Wait until after this episode, though, before you make that decision.
Yeah. You know what? If you guys could just go ahead and write them down and just submit them now, that'd be great.
Throw them right now on the Facebook message. We'll get them and we'll talk about them next week. So, our Lady of Libations, in her real world job, is in charge of a museum.
I am.
And her museum, the Explorium.
Yes. It's a science museum.
In Mobile, Alabama. If you ever visit, go check it out. Is doing an exhibit on science fiction.
Science fiction, science future.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So the exhibit has a variety of like little exhibits all the way through it that exhibits things that were once considered science fiction that are now things that we use, as in lasers, holograms, eye recognition as far as controlling a computer with your eyes instead of a mouse, moving objects with brain waves. So it has scanners. I mean, so there's a lot of things that were once considered science fiction that are now a reality. And amongst all of that, we have a few things that are still science fiction, but that maybe they're working on for the future, and one of which is a Star Trek transporter, which is
the
amazing.
thing that makes... Okay, whoa. Oh, hang on.
Hold your questions.
Okay. Continue.
Tell people where they can find you.
So we are at 65 Government Street in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah, your website?
Yes, it's... I think it's GulfCoastExplorium.com or Explorium.com.
Is it .com? Is it .org or .com?
I want to say it's .com. My email is .com. So
yeah, it should be .com. I think it's Gulf Coast Explorium. I will make sure it has. We'll tag it on all our stuff so people. So because of that, we chose this film.
Right.
Yay! The rest of that sounds really cool.
Because of the science and because of the transporters. I chose for us a Star Trek film, and I didn't choose any Star Trek film. I decided to go deep into the Star Trek lore because everyone does like all the old Trek stuff, and I'm like, no one really pays attention to the new Trek stuff. So,
but not the super new Trek
stuff. Not the infant and the baby.
So we're talking about the cream filling.
Yeah, we're talking about the cream filling.
Oh.
And so our movie today is Star Trek: First Contact.
In his nightmares, he can see them. In his mind, he can hear them.
Locutus.
In his soul, he can feel them.
I've just received a report from Deep Space 5. Long-range sensors have picked up...
Yes, I know. The Borg. Set a course for Earth. Maximum warp.
Now, in Earth's darkest hour, he must fight them again.
Captain, Earth. Life signs?
Population approximately 9 billion. All Borg.
How?
time travel. They went back and assimilated Earth, changed history. I must follow them back. Repair whatever damage they've done.
But this time, they must travel to the past
April 4th, 2063.
to save our future.
You're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here.
It looks like the control deck's 26 up to 11.
Mr. Data and I are returning to the ship. Don't let them touch you!
Captain!
Data!
We must activate the auto-destruct sequence. You want to destroy the ship and run away. You coward.
If you were any other man, I would kill you where you stand.
Let's rock and roll!
Destroy them. Watch your futures end.
Our shields and our weapons are gone.
Resistance is futile.
Perhaps today is a good day to die.
Jean-Luc, blow up the damn ship!
No! We are not going to lose the Enterprise. Not to the Borg, not while I'm in command.
Star Trek. First Contact.
Dun dun dun.
One of my favorites.
Justina says nothing.
I'm here for support because I watched that film, and I have no thoughts.
Oh, you have thoughts.
Oh, I have very little.
So, Star Trek First Contact came out in November of 1996. It was directed by Jonathan Frakes. Screenplay by Brandon Braga and Ronald D. Moore, both guys who had worked on the Star Trek Next Generation television show for most of its life. It ran 7 seasons. It stars Patrick Stewart as Jean-Luc Picard, Captain of the Enterprise. Has Brent Spiner as Lieutenant Commander Data, Jonathan Frakes, who is also directing, as Commander Riker, and the rest of the cast of Star Trek. I didn't list
There's a lot of
all
of them.
Everybody's in it.
Next generation people.
IMDb.
Everybody that you got like that is popular is in this film.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's.
Wow.
Every
'Cause-
Next Generation guy is in it.
All right, cool.
It also stars Alfred Woodard as Lily, James Cromwell as Zephyr Cochrane, and Alice Krige as the Borg Queen.
Hey, don't forget the guy that gets, later on. That's actually in Arrow.
Yeah,
He's
We'll talk
awesome.
about him too, but Commander Hawk,
I know it.
Lieutenant Commander Hawk. He says it's so weird. So the synopsis. So this is what this movie's about, Justina.
Hey, guys. I can't talk about Zephyr Cochrane. I'm not going to talk about him.
Okay.
And I'm not
that was like-
going to sit here and listen to anything about Zephyr Cochrane until you guys do a tequila shot with me.
Did you bring tequila?
Did you for real? I need that in my
Oh
life.
my God, you brought tequila.
As a matter of fact, I did.
Oh, all
Yes,
right.
please.
All right now.
I am suddenly okay with this.
Because
film.
we cannot talk about anything having to do with Zephyr Cochrane until we do a tequila shot.
Okay.
That was like, hey guys,
She is
like,
the
did we
Lady
do
of
something
Libations.
wrong? Like,
She got all serious, right?
is there a lime over there?
Oh.
Don't be a sissy.
Ooh, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Don't be a sissy.
I was just wondering how much she brought in that little bag. I thought it was snacks. I thought she brought snacks.
That's
was
all I
like-
brought.
I was kind of excited
Hey.
for snacks.
It's special, though.
It's also cool.
It's
very,
Yes, I kept it cold.
very cool.
Ooh.
All right.
That's nice.
To
Zephyr Cochrane.
All right, that person. Yep.
Oh, God. Okay.
Jose,
Is everybody ready now?
Jose Cuervo.
Woo.
That was delicious.
Whew. Imagine doing several of those.
All right.
All right. Woo. The Lady of Libations.
I need one of her.
Well, I mean, she technically.
No.
we
There's
share-
extras.
Come with me. Let's follow each other
Here,
around.
you can have the rest, ma'am. Help yourself.
Well, halfway through this podcast, when we're doing stuff that I don't understand because this movie,
Well, see,
I'll take the other shot.
I am the facilitator of fun, and I'm
Thank you.
facilitating your fun right now.
She is facilitating.
Thank you. I
fun.
appreciate you.
So you ready for the synopsis?
Yes, please.
Sure, now I can talk about it.
So should I ask? Let me do this. I want to.
Can I tell you the synopsis?
Yeah. Let me. Okay. I did it in 1, 2. I did it in 3 sentences.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right.
So
Cool.
in,
Let's do this.
So in 3 sentences, what do you think it's about?
Okay. I focus on this movie, guys.
She did. I watched it. I was with her.
This is what I got. There's something happening. We have to go save them. Semicolon. But we were told to stay here. Too bad. That's how it starts.
That's not bad.
Oh no, we're separated. But I don't know how we even separated. But we're fighting in 2 different areas.
Bless her heart.
Oh, look. A Vulcan. I know this just because Scotty went, do you know where the Vulcan is? I was like, it's that guy that just showed up, the shiny one.
At the
Okay,
very end.
okay. Oh, look, a Vulcan. The day is saved.
All right. A little bit different than the way I would describe it.
I just remembered
but
no, but that's 3 sentences.
Yeah,
I commit to that.
But we'll good. That's a good start. I liked it.
You're not going to let me do it in 3 sentences?
No, because you know the movie.
But it would be so much
Yeah,
fun.
let her do it because
All
it would
right,
be kind of
all
funny
right,
just to see
Stephanie.
how well
Well,
she does.
See if I can do it 3 because I didn't plan this. This is on the
Right.
top
It's
of my head.
top of your tongue.
Okay.
It's hard in 3 sentences.
The Borg are planning an attack on Earth that will interfere with the first launch of the very first warp core engine, which will threaten the civilization of Earth. Picard goes against orders to fight the Borg, and the Borg loses. They go through the past because they left the past. That's only 3
You can say
sentences.
that in the microphone.
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt her, so I was just saying that I knew it out loud. I remembered they left their spot, and then of course the bad guys came through their spot because they left it.
It's really
the past. They were like, we have to stay here. It's so boring.
Do you
we'll
want to
go.
know why they were in 2 different places?
We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Okay, you had one more sentence.
I thought that was 3.
Okay, we'll say it was 3. I just assumed you kept using.
You
commas.
finished it.
I really thought that was 3 sentences. I could have gone on, but that was 3 sentences.
don't
So
know how.
here's my synopsis.
Yes, please.
When a race of zombie robots go back in time to prevent Earth from venturing into space, it is up to Jean-Luc Picard and the rest of the crew of the Starship Enterprise to stop them. While in the past, they meet a genius who created warp drive. But you know what they say.
They time traveled.
Never meet your heroes.
Yes, they timed.
Oh my
Did
goodness.
you miss that whole part?
There's so much happened in this
God
movie where I
bless
just
you,
could not.
Child. Yes, they timed.
Oh my gosh.
traveled.
Okay, for someone having not watched any Star Trek movies and then to watch this one, and they don't even introduce you to people. They're like, you just know these people. They so the whole time I'm like, who is that and why are they doing things? Are they together? Are they enemies? And then they went back in time and oh my gosh.
So now what we're going to do in
That
our
was my
sermon,
brain blowing
portion of our show is that we're going to explain this movie in context to
Justina.
Yeah, who watched it, guys? Who watched it? And Scotty was like, take notes.
Okay. What was your note?
What just happened? 3 sentences. That was my synopsis. There were sentences. What just happened? That was my takeaway. All right, cool. Let's do this.
So
All right.
it opens with a nightmare. We find Jean-Luc Picard sleeping, and he's reliving his time when he was with the Borg.
So back in the series, the Borg captured Jean-Luc and
that's the
then-
zombie people.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
and they assimilated him, and he became like a top Borg, like a head Borg.
I am Locutus of Borg. Resistance is futile. Your life, as it has been, is over. From this time forward, you will service us.
And then the Enterprise rescued him and, fixed him.
So he was a Borg, and they brought him back, and then they were like, we'll put you in charge of a ship.
well, no, he was already in charge of
his
ship.
Oh.
This is when he was captain
But they
of
let him
that
keep his
ship.
job.
But when they captured him back, and then they were able to surgically remove all the Borg implants.
Okay.
But he still had some psychological issues
Well, yeah,
from being
for sure
captured.
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
Borg.
He could hear the Borg song in his head. He could. And
Is
that's-
it like a call, like when you hear it, like when you're out at sea?
like
maybe.
sirens?
Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
it's
but
sirens.
similar, I mean-
And then all of a sudden you become a zombie again?
Well, it's like when you are a Borg, you're like kind of keyed into the collective. So all the collective hears the same thing. They all work as one because they are hearing one message from the central, which is the Borg Queen, and she's the one that
I
basically
vaguely remember her.
Okay.
She's the weird robot lady.
Yeah, she's a
Okay,
so-
The
I'm
sexy
learning.
zombie.
So-
She was a sexy zombie.
I mean,
So breaking it down, imagine the Borg is like answer bees, and they all have different jobs.
Queen bee.
Right?
Gotcha,
And she's
gotcha.
a queen bee basically. And so what they do is they travel through space and they go to civilization to civilization. It's like, we like this planet. Let's make all these people Borg, and we'll add their whole civilization to our civilization, and then we'll go and try, because they're in search
so
for
they really are like zombies.
right. They're searching for perfection, and so they think by assimilating other cultures, they'll become if a piece over here, a piece over there, a piece over there, they'll become perfect.
Interesting.
Right. But anyway, that's why he was having nightmares.
None of
is
that's
because
explained in the movie.
He
No,
had
it's really not.
It's mentioned, but it's never
bad
explained.
memories of being part of the Borg.
I remember him mentioning that a couple of times
Yeah.
and saying that he was connected.
Which is why they didn't want him to go when the Borg was.
Because I remember the lady going, no one's like, why are you guys all following him? And he's like, you don't understand. I know. I can sense it. I know what they're doing. I can think when they think or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So he gets a call from one of the top admirals, and the admiral's like, "Hey, buddy," and Picard's all like, "I know the Borg are here," and he's like, "Yeah, cool. We're gonna go fight it, but you,
Cool. Yeah.
you have to stay in the neutral zone.
you gonna stay and go look at stuff because you crazy, and we don't."
You think they did that because he used to be Borg?
Yes.
And they didn't want
yes,
him
they
to...
did not know how he would react to a Borg attack.
So, because of the last film, and I will explain this later in the sermon, but something happened to the last Enterprise in the last film, so they got a new Enterprise, and so it's like the top of the line ship they've got, this badass battleship that they're not going to use because they put the guy who's half Borg in the charge, and they're like, that could be crazy. We shouldn't want to use our best thing. Instead of like, hey, you're not going to be in charge. Let the guy with the beard be in charge for a minute. But no, there was all these ways around it, and they did. Of course, he's not going to pay attention. He tells everyone, hey, we're going to go break the orders and go save everybody.
No, that's not true. At first, he said they were going to stay because they were told to.
Well, he did for a minute.
And then he went, no. Let's go.
Because they were getting their asses kicked.
Right.
And so he's like, I know the Borg. I'm going to go to... So he goes to Earth. They go and they find this cube.
I'm sure it does well in space gas mileage.
Right,
Yeah.
economical. The Admiral ship gets destroyed, so Picard takes over the whole fleet. He's like, guys, I got this. And he's like, all right, we're going to point our lasers at this one spot. And they do, which blows up the cube. Well, as the cube blowing up, a sphere flies out of it. So it's like an escape pod, like a giant escape ship.
No.
And so it starts going through Earth and creating a time rift. The Enterprise chases it, and because they're in the time wake, they're not affected by everything. And while they're looking, Earth gets completely turned into a Borg planet. So what they've got to do is go follow the Borg ship into the past to stop them from turning their Earth into a Borg planet.
So essentially, if they didn't go in the past, the Borgs would be successful.
Right, the Borg would win. We'd all be Borg.
Yes, please. They have those cool headband things.
Those are implants.
Oh, cool.
That's not a headband. It's in your head.
Oh, never mind.
So they go in the past, and they realize they're in the past, where they're at in the past, by looking at radiation and everything. So
Blockbuster.
not quite
Blockbuster.
Unfortunately, there's no blockbusters.
Because this is further in the future than we are now.
Well, but not too much farther. So here's something they do not tell you at all.
Okay.
In 1997, there was a Third World War.
In this film.
Which you would have known had you watched the original series.
Right.
Okay. Oh, goodness.
Like 50 years ago, you'd watch
I feel like I should be taking notes. Continue.
All right, so there was a Third World War. And it was mainly because of these superhuman guys. So they were genetically altered.
Isn't it always because of superhuman
like,
guys?
Like Khan.
Well, she don't know who Khan is.
Khan.
I don't. I really
It's
don't.
okay.
Right.
Does that mean something?
It's awesome.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Continue.
That's on the list. But so these superhuman guys were all ruling different countries, and they warred. And it caused this terrible, terrible World War III, and all these coalitions had fought. And so we were about 10, 15 years after World War III, where they're at, where the Enterprise ends up at. And so to them, it made sense. Most population of Earth has been dead, and it's easy to assimilate. And then they realize what they're going to do. They're trying to stop what is known as first contact.
And there's the title, guys. Credits.
Yeah.
So what do you think first contact is?
Well, okay, so before it was Wally bringing them a plant and making them realize there was life out there and they could travel.
Exactly.
Okay?
If you listen to
So-
our our cult meeting episode, or
You should have, because it was epic.
If not, go back and listen to it.
If we'll wait.
And we're back.
Okay. Was it good for you? It was good for me. So, first contact would be. It could either be their first contact with this space dude that doesn't accept his power because he doesn't want a statue, or his first contact with space.
So it's actually the first time the Vulcans show up on Earth. So at the end of the movie is first contact.
It is their. It is so first contact.
Whole thing
means
is just based on that
it's
shiny
first
dude?
contact. It's first
It's
contact.
based on the shiny dude.
Is that why he shines?
Well, no. So it's about their first contact with an alien race.
Star Trek fans who are
which
listening
would
to
have
this are
never
losing their mind,
happened
and I
had
love
he
it.
not built the warp core. So he built the first warp engine, and that's what the Vulcans saw that made them come to Earth.
So do you know what a warp engine is?
It's the time warp.
Nope. A warp engine is a engine that allows a starship to go faster than light.
We don't have those.
We don't have those
yet.
We don't have those yet.
We will.
Is that in your sciencey thing about coming in the
We
future?
don't have a warp core, no.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be cool to have one?
It would totally be
You
cool
should
have
go to
one.
work and
Say we
try
need a
to
warp
make that
core.
happen.
So there's an unwritten rule, but with civilizations that have warp capability, they can go faster than light. They don't talk to planets who can't.
Because you're
They're primitive. They're like
they're like cave people.
Right. They're like, we don't mess with
It's
those.
like people in Seattle and then people in Kansas.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, Kansas, honey.
Right. It's kind of like that.
We're
But-
drinking our coffee
But
up
when
here
first
with our
contact, right
house.
before first contact, Zephyr takes his warp ship, and flies, and the Vulcans are like, sweet, he can fly faster than light. Let's go hang out.
let's go see who this is.
And this is first
And
contact.
that's how they make friends.
Right, and because of that ushers in basically the world that becomes Star Trek.
And because
It's
the Vulcans actually bring Earth a lot of technology and learning, and
You're right. It's the biggest. It is the biggest event in Star Trek history.
Which is why he gets a statue.
Right.
That he doesn't
exactly.
want.
And
Right,
that school's
exactly.
named
Yeah,
after
yeah,
him and
yeah.
all that,
all
all
that
that
stuff.
jazz.
Right, all that jazz. And so if you're a bad guy and you're like, if we stop this, then we can rule. And so that's what the Borg
That
go.
makes sense.
The Borg go
I get
down
that.
to stop that.
There's
so they prevent
so much
them.
I'm learning that the movie did not teach
So
me.
and that brings us to why their people were separated, is because when they first got into that space, they realized, well, Zephyr had a crash, and so what they had to do is send a team down to the planet to assist him in repairing it, because that ship had to go up at a certain time, or else the Vulcans would have never seen it. So that's why you see Geordi and Deanna and a crew of engineers go down to help repair the ship, while everybody else stayed on the other ship.
So here's my thing. I didn't see them go down.
I missed that.
I was watching. I was watching.
You totally missed that.
But it hit a point where I was like, that's part of their crew. Like, why are they separated? When did that happen? There was apparently there was a point too, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, where it was like when he takes the thing up and then they come back, and I was like, when did they land it? I commented on the landing and then was so confused that I was like, when did they land it? And Scotty was like, you said something about the landing.
Yeah, that's at the end of the movie. She's watching the Vulcan lander land. And she
Yeah, I was
misses
watching. He said, "Do you know who that is?" I was like, "That must be the Vulcan because he's
right,
shiny."
And he's land, and she
I was
lands.
like, but when did that guy land?
I was like, you
Oh
just
my
commented about a
goodness.
minute ago.
That's hilarious.
like it was that confusing for me.
Bless
It
your
was
heart.
it was so hard to follow the story because it was. Anyway, oh yeah, okay.
All right.
Okay,
So I didn't see them
so
go
now
to
they're
the planet.
separated.
I didn't.
We have a group?
Eventually.
Let's get them to separate, because it's important to know why they get separated. So before they're separated, they're still on the bridge of the ship, and they realize what time they're at. Oh, okay, they're here to stop first contact. We can't let them happen. Borg shoots some guns down there, some torpedoes down there to blow stuff up, and they're like, we got to make sure the ship is not destroyed, so we can have a civilization.
Did they hit the ship?
They did not.
Okay.
Picard takes a crew and asks the computer to get him some new clothes, and then they beam down in their new clothes, so they can blend into the
I do remember that where they're like modern clothes, and then it still looked really primitive for me.
Well, yeah.
To think about it being in the future, that's funny.
Well, it's not that far in the future. Plus, it's
I know.
It's like 2040.
I will say our styles are going backwards, so maybe we're going to hit
I
that.
don't know.
Plus
Cochrane had that awesome hat that
Plus, yeah, he does.
I don't even
Plus,
know
it's
who that
also
is.
right after World War III. So,
right.
manufacturing.
Right
People are poor.
after.
There's not much manufacturing going on.
They had tequila though.
They all look for Zephyr Carter. They can't find him. They go look for the Phoenix ship, and they do. Picard and Data go have this weird love thing with touching the ship.
I do remember that. Where they were just like, oh, you have to touch it. And then somebody else touches it and was like, is it supposed to feel a certain way?
Right. And so that's Data.
I remember that.
So that's Data. He's a robot.
He's the one that does the stuff with the later.
Right.
Okay.
We'll get to. But he's an android. He's like, I don't. But his whole thing, he's trying to be human.
Yeah. And they were like, no, you have to touch it.
And he idolizes Picard like a dad. And so he's like, Dad's touching it, I'm going to touch it. And so.
Pretty much.
Then we find Lily, who's the engineer who built the Phoenix, which is the ship. She comes down and she shoots Data with a machine gun, but he's,
Well, he was like, I'll handle this, and jumps down
Right.
multiple layers. I remember that. And then she shoots him a lot, and he was like, we come in peace or something, something like that. And then she passed out.
right. Because
I remember that.
She passed out because she was radiated.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also she just shot this dude like 50,000 times.
Well, there was
and he's just
radiation
walking.
in the air.
And so the doctor, Beverly Crusher, tells Picard, like, we all got to get inoculated. I'm going to beam her back up. And he's like, no,
Yeah, and then just started shooting people through their clothes.
I
That's
have
what-
an issue.
that's a hyperspray.
I've always had an issue with that.
with hyperspace?
Yes. I want to know, how does that get through your clothes? I want to know the technology. I want someone to explain that
I'll look
to
it up.
me.
I'll look
right
it up. We'll
away.
throw it in the next week's
Because
Cold
the-
meeting.
the-
I can
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
I
I'll look
can
at the
see
cold
maybe
meeting.
against your skin.
No,
and
they were
going through
wearing
your skin,
jackets.
but
Like,
they
it
were
was
just going
so
through thick
quick.
jackets, like here, and I'm
she
like,
just
I
whipped it
don't know
out.
if I buy
hold
that.
on. This is a culture who can physically beam you from one place to the other, who can generate food, clothing, and whatever else you need, and you're worried about how, I guess,
Yes,
space
I want
magic.
to know. I don't want to know space magic. The other stuff I can kind of like wrap my head
Like,
around.
what's the science behind
I
that? How
want
does
to know
that
the
go?
science behind a hyperspray.
Yes, please.
Okay, I will. That's my homework assignment.
Homework.
That's my homework. If anyone knows, feel free to put it in the comments.
Put it in your planner.
I will.
Yes, I want to know the science
I will
behind the
talk about it.
hyperspray.
It's important because they bring Lily back up to the Enterprise and throw her in sick bay.
But they weren't concerned because they were going to keep her
They
unconscious.
can knock her out. Well, they were
Yeah,
concerned, but
it's-
Beverly's all like,
it's
I got
fine.
this. I got this. Let's
Why
knock her
not
ass out.
this?
She'll
I
be
just
fine."
shot you through like 3 layers of clothes. I can take care of this one woman. It's fine.
And so, there are crazy things going on in engineering. Environmental controls are going. So environmental controls are basically like the ACs are going on crazy, and the dehumidifier. I can't say it.
Humidity?
Thank
Humidifier?
you.
Humidity?
There we go. Those words are tough.
We got you, boo.
Thank you. That's why I have other cultists with me.
I may not have brought tequila, but I can help with that word.
Maybe it's the
Anybody want another shot?
maybe it's the tequila's messing my.
We can totally do another shot.
But then it comes about they've got engineers looking into it, but the engineers keep going missing. In horror film fashion.
That's when that's how they got separated.
Well, not
Because
yet.
some stayed,
Right. So,
and she beamed up.
So Picard hears something in his head, and so he calls up to the bridge.
I think I missed
Got it.
every time
I'm
he, like, did he do something like Harry when
No.
when the bolt was starting to hurt, and he'd be like,
No,
ah.
you just hear it, and he kind of pauses a minute when he hears it.
Yeah.
But he calls up and is like, "Hey, what's going on?" And is like, "The environmental controls are crazy." And so Picard's all like, "Okay, I'm taking Data with me. Riker, you go."
Data's
finish.
a robot.
Yeah. He says, "Riker, stay down here." And Riker's the bearded guy who's also directing this movie.
Oh,
Actually, he's a way better director than he is an actor.
Ooh.
oh,
Shots fired.
yeah. They
Phasers on stun.
No, wait a minute. That's not necessarily a. That could be a compliment. I mean, he's not a bad actor, but he's a pretty darn good director. He directs a lot of Star Trek content.
Well, he directs a lot of things. He's a good director.
Yeah.
I think he's a fine actor too. So I don't.
I mean, he's not terrible.
But he'll never do the show now. So Picard and Data go back to the Enterprise, and they realize that the Borg have taken over because the environmental controls are all wacky because it's hot as a Borg ship down there.
It's hot as a Borg ship.
And so they figure out that
Am I right?
when they destroyed the sphere, they're like, "Hey,
My ears are on fire now. I'm sorry.
Tequila does
Speaking
that.
of hot as a Borg ship.
Tequila will do that to you.
My lips get tingly.
So the Borg have gotten to the Enterprise, and they've got to get the Borg out. And the Borg are just like they're going floor. They're not going to stay on their deck 9 or where the hell they are. They're going to take over the whole ship. So that's why they're separated. You got guys trying to fight the Borg on the ship, and you got guys who've got to do the launch the Phoenix, so the Vulcans will see. So they'll have civilization. It's crazy.
So that Borg queen, she makes all the decisions, correct?
She's so awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I mean,
And so the Borg Queen was a new concept. This was the first movie that introduced her. This is what introduced the Borg Queen.
because so
But
she's the one that was like, no, we also need to get on that ship.
she was
and
in
take
the
over that ship,
series.
right? Yeah.
She wasn't in TNG. She was in Voyager, but she was not in TNG.
Okay, Voyager. I would say I've
And-
seen her before.
but-
so it's
and-
Voyager then.
She was actually played by Suzanne Thompson in Voyager for most of its run, and then the Voyager's last episode, she returned with Alice Creech, came back and did her.
Alice Krieg is great.
Alice Creech.
That's who did her in this
Yeah,
one?
in this
Oh,
one,
okay,
yeah.
okay. So that's how they got separated.
That's why.
Okay.
That's why they're separated.
Okay. I just know that it happened so quick.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So continue.
So
I'm learning so much.
During all this, the Enterprise crew finds Zephyr Cochrane. He's alive, and
He's the warp guy.
yeah.
Yep.
So he's the farmer from Babe.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, all I could think about was babe. That's the whole time. Every time he said something.
And so
I
where's
love
his
him
piggy?
so hard.
And so the farmer from Babe is an alcoholic, money grubbing. He just wants naked women on an island. That's all.
So, and I have a question real
Sure.
quick.
And
Since
he's
we're
honest
talking about
about
him
that.
and Babe, what else has he been in?
lots of things.
Oh my gosh!
Because I
tons of
pretty
stuff.
I'm not gonna say I don't know him from other things, but I only recognize him from Babe.
Here, I'm pulling it up right now.
She's
So
pulling it.
continue explaining about First Contact.
And
Okay,
so,
yeah, go ahead.
and of course, he's resistant to everything. He's like, there's a lot of hero worship going on. People are like, hey,
It's a lot of pressure.
there's a lot of pressure.
Oh, yeah.
In realizing that you are the guy who changed civilization. You're like, I'm an asshole. I'm not that guy. I don't know what you guys are thinking about,
It's
but
like
I'm not.
I don't want all that. I just want money.
Right.
And
I
an
just-
island.
Right. And some naked
ladies.
ladies, and that's all I want.
Ladies.
All right. So, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm only gonna name the ones that you may have seen.
Good luck.
Starting with
Good
the
luck.
earliest.
Yeah,
I
good
know.
luck. This is gonna be fun,
Have
guys.
you seen Jurassic World?
I have.
Okay, Benjamin Lockwood,
He's
the old dude
He's the old guy
in the mansion.
In the mansion.
The old dude that.
Okay.
Okay. You know. Let's see. You haven't seen any of that crap. I know. It's like Big Hero 6. He was a voice.
Okay.
Robert Callahan.
Well, I don't know names, but I have seen.
Well, I figured you have.
Big Heroes. Is that the one with the hug? The
Yeah.
big guy with the big white
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
I
have
saw it.
kids. I thought you might have seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that.
All
Inflatable
right.
robot?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever watch Boardwalk Empire?
Nope.
No.
Don't even know
Okay.
what that is.
How about
Scott-
American Horror Story?
How about Scotty answers whether or not I've seen them? Because it'd be fun
American
to see.
Horror Story?
Did you watch American Horror Story? No.
Okay, never mind.
He's in
Keep moving.
Asylum, isn't he?
Yes, he was. He was
Look
the
at
doctor.
me knowing stuff.
No, he's awesome in that one. He's been in so much. I've seen almost everything in here, but you haven't. So I'm just going to keep going. You haven't seen that.
Guys, I need y'all to know that I'm not even looking at
This
her
is
phone.
hilarious.
She's just like repeatedly
It's
scrolling.
like I have to like. Did
Her
you
thumb
see?
is going
Did you
so
see
fast.
iRobot?
Yes, I did.
He was the doctor, the one that
He
that
plays a lot of
created.
doctors.
He was the one that
Yeah, he
created
plays a lot of doctors,
the.
a lot of politicians.
Well, the one little AI guy that hung out with Will Smith.
Was it when they were locked in that room?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, see, I recognize scenes, but I still can't picture him in
Right.
those.
Okay, so let's keep going. What else have you seen?
I really like that you're picking out things I have seen.
I
though.
know. I'm
This
like,
is great.
We
We know each other.
He was
so well.
also on Star Trek Enterprise.
Oh, he was
but-
on. Okay, he's
but
done.
you've-
He's done Star Trek like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, he's
before
done a
this.
lot. The Green
Including this.
Mile.
It has been a long time.
He is the warden.
He has the Warden of Green Mile.
Yeah, it was great. Let's see here. What else? Anything? You haven't seen that. Babe.
Yep.
Did you see Deep Impact?
Nope.
No, okay.
I forgot he was in Deep Impact.
I'm
Wow.
like,
No,
oh,
okay.
okay.
No, okay.
we'll
Keep
keep
going.
going.
So he's the farmer.
Anyway, a
Babe.
lot of stuff. He's been
so
in a
he was
lot
in
of
Babe.
stuff.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I'm sitting here going, yes, he was in that. He was in that. He was in that. But you haven't
He's
seen
a-
any of that
He's a
stuff.
fine actor.
So I'm kind of sad.
He's in the
that you
General's
haven't seen all
Daughter.
this.
I'm
Because
really
he's
sorry.
amazing.
Scotty's helping me out.
I got you.
One film at a time. We're just picking the ones in the middle of series so that I'm super confused every time.
I mean,
I think you're doing all right.
He's over there smiling so
Oh,
big,
God,
like,
yes,
this
I
is
am.
the best thing
I
that's ever
love it every
happened
bit
for
of it.
me.
This is why you are fun on this show because, yeah,
Thanks.
you don't know a lot of these movies.
I sure don't. I'm glad that somebody's getting some joy out of it, though. So continuing on.
So Zephyr Carver runs off because he's all like, I don't want to do this. Makes no sense. So he leaves.
I don't want to be a statue.
I got to go take a pee. And
No, I got to take a leak.
they're like, what's a leak? And I'm like, because they never make references to bathrooms in Star Trek ever. So this is the
Never.
first one. So it was a big deal.
So isn't that when doesn't he sneak out of a window? Or am I
that's-
mixing movies
yeah,
up?
that's-
And they like came outside and they're like, what are you doing? And then he turned around and walked back?
no.
No,
That's something different.
I have no,
No
idea what
you-
that is.
He
That
ran
was
off
not
and-
this movie.
They ran off and shot him with a laser beam later on.
In the woods.
Hang on.
And knocked
He
him
ran
out.
off in the
What was
woods.
that from? Okay, that's not.
So meanwhile, the Borg on aboard the Enterprise just kicking the shit out of everybody. Picard and his group are going looking for it. Data and gets captured by the Borg.
Yep.
Picard gets separated from his group, ends up being captured by
Okay,
Lily.
wait. So they're in the sick bay, whatever they call it. And
Sick bay, you're right.
That was
Guys.
that's the correct term.
guys,
Look at you.
oh my
You're
gosh,
gonna be a
calm
trainee
down,
before the end of
everybody,
this.
calm down. Okay, they might as well just hire me to play the next movie, right? So they start crawling through a hole.
Yes.
Jeffrey's
And-
tube is
A
what
Jeffrey's
those
tube
And
is what that is.
one of the doctors stays.
It's a hologram. It's not a doctor.
But I mean, he was like, I'm not programmed for this. Like, I got that he wasn't real.
he's a hologram. He's the doctor on Voyager.
So what happened to him?
He's
Is
a
that
hologram.
ever like? But do they? Like,
He's
does he-
he's a computer program.
They
There's-
can't do
it's-
anything.
They can't.
They
I
don't-
just know that they walked in and he was like,
They can't hurt him. He's a computer
like-
program.
all right,
He's all
well,
like,
you're here.
rashes are terrible for the Borg. Is basically what he's
Yeah.
saying.
Okay,
He's
okay,
just
cool.
stalling.
I just thought of him and I feel bad that I didn't check on him earlier.
He is an EMH program, emergency medical hologram.
Oh, so how does he physically help you?
So holograms in this world are a combo of not just light and lasers, but actually like force fields and things, so they can actually touch you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so
Right.
so he's like he's designed really for like if like all the doctor staff are busy or dead, he can be like, all right, pop up and like I can be a doctor, I can come help out.
So in some of the series, in some of the series, there are actual real human characters that have relations with holograms.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know how far we could go.
Yes, that's how far you can go
But
with that.
no. Like to keep it PG-13.
You can talk
could say
about
relations.
So, but no, I was
You could say sex if you wanted to.
okay. Well, my first thought was,
boning.
I wonder if they had pornos.
Yes,
Yeah.
With
Quark
holograms.
sells them.
Oh,
On
D-
Deep
Deep
Space
Space
Nine,
Nine.
he has special holo programs that he sells for that,
'Cause,
like porn programs.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a whole episode about on Voyager because Vulcans can only have sex every 7 years, and
that is why they're so shiny.
and
They need to get some
they
scuffs on them.
Super aggressive. It's
If
called the
they
Pon-
don't have sex?
right? They call Pon Far, and so Voyager's a show about a starship that's got stuck way deep in space and they can't get home, and so they have a holodeck too, and so they're like, well, we can just make him a fake woman, and he can just have fun all day, and that doesn't really work.
Right.
Okay, so
But anyway, yes, they do have,
have so
they
many
do
questions.
have porn in Star Trek.
why can they only have sex every 7 years?
It's just the way
That's a
they're-
Vulcan
That's how
anatomy.
they're
So
raised.
That's only Vulcans.
It's just Vulcans, yeah.
They can't have sex with anybody, even themselves, for 7 years.
They
or they
don't.
can only.
They're completely in control of themselves,
Right,
their
they're-
bodies,
yeah, they're
emotions, and
logical.
everything.
I don't
That
know.
is
If,
exhausting.
I don't know if I.
I'm gonna need to be touched.
They probably can. They have. Let's put it
like,
this way: they
the
have to
males,
have sex
yeah,
every 7 years.
Yeah, they have to.
Okay.
They could probably
do it, yeah.
So they don't need it. They're like,
As a matter
no,
of fact,
I'm
I'm
refined.
almost positive they can because
Probably, yeah.
Sarek married an Earth woman, and I can guarantee you she needs it more than 7 years. Once 7 years.
But if they don't have it in 7 years, it's like, I
They-
have to release.
they have to have
Right,
it
it's
every 7 years.
like it will kill them.
oh snap! You
Yeah.
know what? I feel like it would kill me too. So I guess.
right?
Am I a Vulcan right now?
You might be.
Live long
But
and
to answer
prosper.
your question, yes, there is porn in
there's
Star
porn-
Trek.
porn in Star
Okay,
Trek.
cool. Continuing
Quark.
on.
Ask
Sorry.
Quark. He'll
Sorry,
sell you
Scotty.
some.
So Picard is separated from his group. Data is separated from the rest of them and gets captured by the Borg. He gets captured by Lily, our lovely engineer, who's like from the past and has no idea what's going on. After
And she woke up in the middle of them trying to escape and
Right.
freaked out.
She's
'cause
all freaked
They're
out.
like, no, we're going to take care of you. And she's like, you put me. No. You're a bad person. I remember that.
a little bit of tussle, whatever. Picard convinces her that things are okay. She joins up with him, and he tries to usher her into slowly but surely into, well, hey, it's the future. They find the Borg. Borg chase them into a holodeck. He turns it into he's really big on this Dixon Hill crime novels, like pulp novel series.
Yeah, like the 1920s kind of.
He's like trying
gangster.
to be the gangsters versus detectives kind of thing, private eye stuff.
Who is he?
Picard.
That's
Remember
the
the
bald
gangster?
one.
Yeah,
thing.
the captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he turns the holodeck into a 1930s nightclub.
Oh, that's when they're in the nightclub.
Right.
Yeah.
And it kept changing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a holodeck.
I forgot all about
So the
that.
Borg zombies are chase them down.
They start to dance.
And so they start dancing because they're like, if we blend, so we're not like, we don't look like, we look like holograms, the Borg will ignore us, which kind of happens. And then Picard gets a hold of a Tommy gun and murders a bunch of Borg because you can turn the safety protocols off a holodeck and make weapons lethal, which is dumb.
Anyway, it was
It's the dumbest thing in Star Trek. Well, there's a lot of dumb things in Star Trek, but that's one of the things that was like, it's like I'm actively going to be like, nah, let's just turn off the safety.
I mean, why would you not need a safety on a holodeck?
Right? Why?
That's what I'm
why would
saying.
that? Yeah, I don't guess that. Why is that an option?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why is
But
that
it worked for this one.
Right.
It was good.
So Picard goes all crazy, just like blowing up a.
By the way, the part where they're going through the little Borg and with all the Borg alcoves and they're walking and the Borg are ignoring them and she keeps yelling, that's exactly the way I would be acting if I was going through like spider webs.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie.
And
I'm not even going to lie.
She suddenly yelled. I do remember that.
Right.
Because he was like, no, just that didn't make sense either.
Because
Okay, I
she
have
was
so many
scared.
thoughts.
She ain't never seen those things before.
I agree. But first of all, no, just act like they're nothing and they don't even see you. How are they taking over?
Because they will only attack if they feel like you're a threat.
But I just don't understand how they're taking over so much if
Well, they'll get
they're-
around to you eventually. That's how they do. It's like, we'll get around to you eventually, but we're going to take care of threats first.
Yeah, we've got to build. We've got to turn your home into our home. We're busy doing that.
Yeah.
A lot of remodeling, and
Yeah.
And after we do
Got
this, then we will.
troubles with
Let's
the
remodel and then we'll
contractors.
have the dinner party, okay?
Pretty much.
We got to send a dude out to Lowe's and just got to pick up some stuff, and we'll get to
That's
you.
another thing. I see all these Borg come on, but I never see them show up with all of this equipment.
They
But
don't have
all
to.
of a sudden, poof, you have alcoves.
Oh, you don't have to because you can just replicate those. They just use the Enterprise replicators and replicate them.
Oh, okay. I've always wondered, it's like,
That's
how
how
do they just like show up with all these
Magic.
alcoves?
So we're just making
Science magic.
Space
Space magic.
Data is all captured by the Borg. He meets the Borg Queen, who's all like,
While he's strapped down.
yeah,
He's
she's all like robot and weird, sexy, and
It's about 7 years for her. She's
Right.
needing some release, okay?
right. She's giving him skin because that's what he wants.
Some skin. Give me
And
some skin.
He wants to be human.
yeah, he wants to be human, so she's trying to help him out with it. He's locked. Earlier he locked out the computer, so she's like, I got. Hey, look, I'll give you skin. You give me the computer. We'll rule together. Blah blah blah.
I got you.
That's what she's trying to work with.
She's seducing him.
He's right. She's trying to
She's
seduce
a robot
him, and
seducing
so
him.
She's like, so how long
So-
has it been since you've had sex?
He had before.
right, he
Yeah.
had before. So
He had a girlfriend
and
once.
I'll talk about that. Well, yeah, he had a girlfriend.
Ish.
He had a girlfriend once, but they never had sex in that episode.
Well, there are
Well, I
many
was talking
episodes
about not
outside
a
of that.
girlfriend,
But-
but he
but-
did have relations with Tasha.
Yeah, he had Tasha Yar hit, and that was okay. So he
I love it when you guys just know names. I'm still trying to figure out who's who in this film.
so he lists a date out, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But he lists like 8 years, 7, whatever. That's literally.
Oh, we copied that. It was like 8 years, 7 months, 4 days, and something minutes. And
Right.
then they started counting.
So what that actually was how long it had been to that episode when he had sex.
Oh,
There you go.
he's really got that timer.
So that was all like in the first season. They had 7 seasons. So one season he had sex, 6 more he didn't. Then one movie, then another.
There you go.
Okay.
So
Do some research.
it's ugly down there. The Borg are all taking over. I'm trying to speed this up because
I know, we got to get through it. Anyway, she's giving him skin, and let's get to where
all right,
Rip
so,
it off
Picard
if you
comes
don't
in.
want to do
so
it.
Picard
Rip
shows
it
up and he's
off.
like, fight hand to hand if you got to.
Oh, wait a minute. We forgot when they released all the pianos.
I'm so sorry. This happened? What? Did anybody play one?
No. The pods, when they were... So they set it on, like, automatic destruct the ship.
Oh,
But that's before Picard goes in there with Data. They do an auto destruct before Picard goes in there with Data.
Yeah, but I'm not getting there. We're still way from that.
Way from that? Okay.
Yeah,
Before they release the pianos?
Yeah, Picard shows up and realizes that he's got. Remember he killed that Ensign Lynch guy who was a robot. And he was like, and I dug into his stomach and found his brain.
Yeah.
And I plugged his brain.
The black box.
He plugged his black box into this thing. It's like, they're going to try to make. They're basically trying to send a signal from the Enterprise to where the Borg live. Way deep in space to go like, yo, help us. So basically using their direct TV to find a good signal.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Picard, Worf, and Hawk go outside to fight the Borg when they're
on the satellite dish.
On the satellite dish.
I need everybody that's listening to understand that they're both just looking at me as they're talking because I'm still confused. Like at this point, they're trying to teach me. You guys are welcome.
So Worf is like my favorite Klingon character. Not so much the actor anymore behind Worf, but that's a different story. But Worf I love as a character. And he actually during this time was on another series called Deep Space Nine, but he happened to be flying by on his ship, the Defiant, to help out Picard. So that's why
with
he's
Adam
there.
Scott. From the
Who
Office.
popped up quickly and then disappeared
Right.
before
Yes.
we realized he popped up. Okay.
There you go.
But so, long story short, Hawk gets turned into a Borg. They shoot him into space. The rest of the Borg.
He attacks him on the thing that should have been way harder for them to do.
Right.
But yeah.
They unlock the mag locks to make the satellite dish work, and then they send it off in space and blow it up with assimilate this.
There you go.
Oh, yep.
So they got rid of Dish TV. They got rid of Dish TV.
Right. They got rid of Dish TV, moved on to straight cable. And
that's what's happening in space. Now back to our friends on Earth.
The friends on Earth, they find Zephyr Cochrane. They convince him he's got to go do the space launch. So they're basically getting ready for the space launch. Picard goes back and is like, all right, we've stopped them, but they're still coming. So I guess we're going to fight until the last man. And Lily's all like, everybody wants you to blow up the damn ship. Blow up the damn ship.
Yeah,
and he's
it's
like, the
like,
line must be drawn here. And
we're not going to blow up the ship.
And then everybody just goes about their business. She's like, why are you following him?
And Beverly is like, once he's made up his mind, we just do what he says.
Although this whole film started with him disobeying orders.
Right.
So he's like, no, we're not going to do that. But everybody's like, well, if he wants to do it, we're going to do it.
Yeah, Beverly's like, well, he's made up his mind. We're just going to do what he says.
So Lily goes talks to Picard and basically they
shames him.
They shames and then once she mentions Moby Dick, he's all like, "You're right, I am Captain Ahab." And so they they're going to go blow up the ship.
And that's when they release the pianos.
And so the escape pods.
They look like pianos to me
Little
when they were
pianos.
flying.
Yeah,
they totally look like baby grand pianos flying into
Seriously
space.
thought you meant pianos, and this whole time I have been trying to figure out where the pianos were in
so
the
worried
ship.
about pianos.
I was like, I did not even see pianos.
What
How
are you
much did I
talking
miss?
about?
But then you just said they set the thing, and I was like, oh, the pianos must have been playing music
No.
to warn them. But then I was like, no, because there wasn't a warning. It said there wouldn't be another warning.
To me, when the escape pods in this particular movie look just like baby grand pianos flying into space. But anyway,
so Picard tells Lily he's not going because he's got to go rescue Data, and he gives them orders to go find a nice quiet place in North America to go chill out. I read a short story about that I'm going to share with in the next episode.
Okay.
In the meeting?
Yeah, during the meeting.
Okay,
well, it probably won't
In
be
our prayer meeting?
It probably won't be in the cult meeting, but it will be associated with it. It'll be released next week.
Okay.
Cool.
So you get bonus content. That was there's an idea there I really like.
So what you think they did?
No. It's a similar situation, and I thought I got played around with it, but it's really fun. It's not Star Trek.
You guys will have to tune in next week to figure out what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry.
So Picard goes to rescue Data. Data's all like, "I'm with the Borg Queen now," and he's like,
"She's gonna touch my skin."
She's gonna touch my skin.
My skin.
On Earth, they launched the Phoenix with all kinds of cool rock and roll. The Borg Queen tries to shoot it, misses.
Actually, Data. She tells Data.
She tells Data to shoot it, but misses because Data's not going to betray anybody. They smash. Picard smashes a vial of stuff that kills organic material.
Actually, Data smashes it.
I
No, Data smashes it and he grabs on the thing, starts
Picard
climbing.
smashed it and grabbed. I don't
Nope.
know. Somebody smashed it.
Data smashed it.
Get it together, Data. Traitor.
And so he smashes it, and all the Borg get basically killed.
Melted.
They melt. They die.
melt.
They all the organic parts basically get eaten up like acid.
It eats skin, basically.
Okay, cool.
That's why Data's skin got eaten off.
So the warp launch is
remember that happening.
the warp launch is successful. Everyone wins. The Vulcans come down. You miss that. You.
That's the part, and probably would only know that was a Vulcan because Scotty looked at me and said, "You know who the Vulcan is?" And I went, "Well, obviously it's that guy because he just showed up and you just asked the question."
It's the one who did this. If anybody wants to know, I'm doing the Vulcan high five.
He didn't do that at first. It
don't
was
have
right
video-
after I said, "It's that shiny dude,"
I know,
and then he
that's
did it.
why
And I
I
went,
said
"Oh,
we
don't
there
have
it
video
is.
capability.
There it is."
But and so the Enterprise hides behind a moon so the Vulcans don't see him, which also makes no damn sense.
I don't remember that
Because they have
either.
sensors. They would totally see
They're like
Enterprise.
the
but it's
moon
okay.
hides the sensors. I'm like, okay.
It's a whole planet.
And then
Like,
they're like,
well,
hey,
moon.
by the way, we figured out how the Borg time traveled, so we're gonna go do that. And then the end of the movie, they save the day.
Then they go back. And it's fine.
So
For those of you confused out there, I have now learned about it twice, and I am still very confused.
I think you're a little better than you were.
I'm a little bit better. I'm better.
So, while we were watching it, Justina commented that the Enterprise that we first see is the Enterprise E,
Yes.
and she mentioned, well, there was a lot of them beforehand, I guess.
A, B, C, D.
There were.
There were. You're
So-
welcome, guys.
So here we go. I want to first talk about the historical USS Enterprise, the real one. There have been 8 technically. One's being built. The first, I'm not going through them all, but the first one was built in 1775. It was a Continental Navy sloop. Was captured from the British and then burned to prevent its recapture in 1777. In 1799, the third ship carrying the name fired the first shots in the First Barbary War. In 1917,
Okay, what happened to that one? It fired the first shots and then they blew it up.
Who knows?
Oh,
I didn't.
It's historical. It
it's
should be in a
old now.
museum.
I just went the quick highlights. I didn't
Cool.
do.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. I
Um,
don't have questions.
I'll try to find out for the
It's
call
okay,
meeting.
it's
How about
okay.
that?
Okay.
In 1917, I just put this because I thought this was funny. In 1917, the 6th version of it was a motorboat
Yes, please.
used as a World War I non-commissioned section patrol craft.
There you go.
The 8th one was, and the last one that was in service was a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. It was decommissioned in 2017. I just read in the.
Just got decommissioned.
I'm just reading because they're trying to figure out how to dismantle it. They're having trouble breaking it up. And then currently there's a new one being built, a Gerald R. Ford class aircraft carrier. 2 notable exceptions or additions. The Enterprise was a balloon used by the Union Army in the Civil War.
Woohoo!
And the first space shuttle orbiter for the national program was named Enterprise. So on to the Starship Enterprise. There are a lot. So the first one is the Enterprise NX-01. It was the one from this TV show Enterprise. It was decommissioned 10 years
Okay, I
after
have to
launch.
interrupt you
Yep.
because I feel like this movie in particular is going to make me sound like I did not just get a college degree. All the ones that you just read were real enterprises?
Yeah, they were real.
Because the whole time I was imagining them in space.
No.
I was like, that is such a cool space motorboat. I did not realize that's what, and then
No.
you went, okay, so now for the Starship ones, I was like, oh my God.
Those are
real
actually real enterprises that are
enterprises
military vessels.
that I
And
thought-
another one is being built right now.
Every time he said that, I was like in the world, they're building another one. That's what's happening to my brain. That's what this movie has done to me.
Yes.
Okay.
So here's
So these are the pretend ones.
Here's the
okay,
pretend
thank
ones.
you. Oh God.
So the first one is the NX class, the Enterprise NX-01. It was on the Enterprise show, which lasted 4 seasons. Apparently, it was decommissioned 10 years after its first launch, and it's possibly in a museum. I couldn't find really information on it. The second one is the most famous one, the U.S. Enterprise NCC 1701.
1701.
That's the one from the original Star Trek TV show and the first 3 movies. It's Constitution class. It was destroyed when Captain Kirk ordered self-destruction to prevent it falling into Klingon hands for Star Trek 3, The Search of Spock. Then it was replaced by the 1701A, and it was decommissioned at the end of Star Trek 6 and is placed in a museum. That was replaced by the B, which was an Excelsior class, and its fate is unknown.
Oh, wow.
Then that was replaced by the C, which is an ambassador class, and it was captained by Rachel Garrett, and it was destroyed in a Klingon-Romulan War, which is on the Next Generation episode Yesterday's Enterprise. Then the Enterprise that we know from Next Generation is the D, and it's Galaxy class. It was captained by Jean-Luc Picard, Edward Jellicoe, and William Riker at different times.
So he captured it when he was a Borg.
No, he
okay.
He was a captain.
They gave him. He was their first captain. Destroyed when it crash landed on Viridian 3 after attack from a Klingon bird of prey left it mortally wounded, and that's in Star Trek Generations, the movie before this one. And then the most current one is the NC-1701E, which is a Sovereign class, and it's the most advanced ship in the Starfleet, currently captained by Jean-Luc Picard.
Until he destroys it with pianos.
Now, wait a minute. Which one is the one that was captained by Pike in Discovery?
That's all. It's 1701.
Okay, that's Kirk's.
Yeah, that's
ship.
Kirk's ship. Yeah,
Okay,
Pike had it before.
Pike had
Kirk.
it first,
Kirk.
and then okay, got it.
I
I'm
didn't put all those.
still really embarrassed that the first ones I was trying to put in Star Trek and was like, those sound like historical dates for us. That's crazy how much they tied those together.
Those are real ships.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome, though.
Now it's time for libations.
Libations.
Yes, please.
All right. So,
Well, we're out of tequila. So there's that.
so of course, because we've already been drinking tequila, you really cannot watch this movie without doing tequila shots.
No one told me
because
that before we watched it.
That
Scotty.
is Zephram's favorite drink, tequila.
He drank a lot of
likes his
tequila in that movie, and whiskey. He drank a lot.
Right,
of whiskey too.
right. So, but he got Troy drunk off tequila. So there you go. But so I found this wonderful. When I research, I like to do some research. Sometimes I'll make up some stuff on my own. But this time, I actually did some research and found a website that is called 60 Plus Star Trek themed drinks, cocktails, shots, and bowls.
Go Trekkies.
And holy crap. I wish I had a bar that I could just play with and drink all of these because they are awesome. But for this one movie, I had to think of something that was relevant. So
Did you use one of those? Or did you come up with your own?
No, I used one of these. They had one called the Borg Queen, and this is a drink that is served at Quarks. And it is...
Is that a bar?
It's a bar on Deep Space Nine, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 1 ounce Smirnoff green apple twist vodka. You can use any other apple twist.
Oh, take
but
that back.
this with
Okay, hold on, pause real
this
quick.
is not...
Pause. Quarks was a bar when Star Trek had a kind of an attraction inside one of the casinos.
Yeah,
in
this is what this is.
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And in that attraction, there was a Quarks bar where they'd show you real alcohol drinks with.
Yeah, this is in.
But in the
this
world,
is a drink
there's
bar.
there's a space station and there's a bar on that space station owned by a dude named Quark.
Who
Cool.
sells the porn.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, it's 1 ounce of Smirnoff green apple twist vodka, 1 ounce of apple pucker schnapps, 1 ounce of 99 apple schnapps, and
That's
then
a
you
lot of
splash a splash of sweet and sour. Yeah, it is. It's green for a reason. So basically,
Is she green?
Well, they wanted.
I didn't see her to be green.
I'm about to say-
sickly looking.
I'm about to say I'm colorblind, and the whole time I'm like, is she
it's
green?
kind of that sickly looking thing, but it's like so basically.
Would have been a revelation. Like, I've
Like
seen
all
the
the
movie.
ones I'm having, you're like, well, she was green the whole time. I'll be.
So anyway, no, she's kind of gray, but still.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
But in a
You're
shaker
good.
cup, you just combine all the ingredients, shake with ice, pour into a chilled martini glass. You can garnish with sugar rim if you would like.
And an apple peel. I feel like more apple should be
You
included
could,
in that.
you could
There's not
probably
enough
do it.
apple.
You could probably do it. I thought it was awesome because it's a little green apple martini, but it's called the Borg Queen, and it was actually served at a bar called Quarks.
So I think that drink is important for her because if she has a whole bunch of minions, she's gonna need all the apples
Maybe
to keep the
she likes
doctors away.
appletinis. You don't know her life.
I don't, but I'm just saying she's
You don't
keeping
know
the
her
doctors away. She's keeping them away.
I mean, I'm just saying. Oh my God, there are so many awesome drinks on this website. I was going through and going, oh my God, can I see things that would not make sense in this movie? But I'm like, oh my God, I got to do
Well,
this.
if we
I
do
gotta
another
do
Star
this.
Trek film,
Yeah. So
I may just start doing Star Trek films just to watch. Just
Please
seeing-
no.
Blaine
Please,
Floyd.
please
I
no.
just
Oh
need
my
to get a
gosh,
hold
I'm
of a bar. Does
I'm so
anybody have a
tired.
bar?
Just like my brain just hurts. I'm so tired.
Okay,
Does
listeners,
anybody have a bar just
if
in
you
your backyard?
if you own a bar, all I want is one day to go through and make like at least one of each of these cocktails so I can try them. So listeners, help me out. If you own a bar, that's all I want. An afternoon in your bar. We'll give you all the promos.
We could come. We
It'd
could
be
talk.
awesome.
I could just drink. I feel like I could do that part well.
You probably could.
You guys have a microphone and be like, do you remember this part? And I'll be like, I don't know, but she tastes delicious.
Anyway.
Bring me another queen, please. Give me a piece of skin. It's fine.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Anyway, there you go.
Moving on to our reenactment.
This will be fun, guys, because I don't remember these. So this is
phase
going to
of
be
this
straight
I'm
improvisation.
so excited about this. Which one are we doing first?
I have a script. That means nothing.
Let's
Go in order of appearance?
let's start with let's order of parents. So starting with blended,
Blended.
which has 3 parts, one for each of us.
Who's who?
I figure you want to be Troy
Sure.
because you're drunk. I know you will.
Okay. That is not how I would have imagined Troy to be spelled. Who
Uh,
am I?
Would you like to be Riker or Cochran?
I would like to be Riker because I do not want to be Cochrane. That's a terrible name.
I guess I'm Cochran.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, okay.
So it starts with you.
Okay, I'm going to read my actions as well.
Okay.
I need all of you to pretend like you can see me doing them. Okay? Deanna, ripping out the power. What?
lead.
Silencing the music.
No, don't turn it off. That
Who is this jerk? Who told him he could turn off my music?
Will Riker, Zephram Cochran.
Is he a friend of yours?
Yes.
Husband?
No.
Good.
Oh.
Now this, Dina.
Deanna.
This is the good stuff.
Dr. Cochrane?
To the Phoenix. May she rest in peace. You gonna read my?
As we drink.
Oh, yeah, I'll read your twos.
Yeah.
Cochrane and Troy knock back their slugs with some reaction. Just some, not a lot. Not a lot.
Okay, that wasn't so good.
Will, I think we have to tell him the truth.
If we tell the truth, the timeline.
Timeline? This is no time to argue about time. We don't have time. What was I saying?
You're drunk.
I am not.
You are.
Look, he wouldn't even talk to me unless I had a drink with him. And then it took 3 shots of something called tequila
Ew.
just to find out he was the one looking for. And I've spent the last 20 minutes trying to keep his hands off me. So don't go criticizing my counseling techniques. It's a primitive culture. I'm just trying to blend in.
Oh, you're blending in all right.
I've already told him our cover story. He didn't believe me.
Yes, we're running out of time. Now, if we tell him the truth, do you think he'll be able to handle it?
If you're looking for my professional opinion as the ship's counselor, he's nuts.
I'll be sure to note that in my log.
And scene.
So I remembered that line because I thought it was magical.
I love that. That's awesome.
There's no time to argue about time. We don't have the time. That was amazing. I remember that part.
Well, I think we have to tell him the truth.
If we tell the truth, the timeline...
Timeline! This is no time to argue about time. We don't have the time.
Moving on to Apocrypha. I actually found some Apocrypha for this one.
All right, let's do it.
What do you think some alternative titles for this movie were?
Oh, okay, hang on. What the? I can't say that. Take that out. What just happened? We'll go with that.
Star Trek, what just happened?
Wait, no. Go to her first. Come back to
Moby
me.
Picard.
Moby Picard.
Oh, you were much better at this. Why did I not prepare?
I didn't prepare either.
I know, but you're really good at it. I need to prepare. Flesh of our labors.
Okay, that's not bad.
Sounds like an English movie anyway. Alternate titles were Star Trek Renaissance, Star Trek Resurrection, which was used later, Star Trek Borg, Star Trek Generations 2. They didn't use Star Trek Resurrection because of Aliens Resurrection. That's what happened.
Right.
Insurrection was, I was thinking at first.
Which was terrible.
So the first draft of this movie was called Star Trek Renaissance, and because it took place during the Renaissance period. In it, the Borg maintained their collective in a castle dungeon.
Yes, please.
I
love castles.
For their headquarters, they planned to disrupt humanity's exploration and scientific discovery. while ideas from the were brainstormed from the first script. Sword fights were planned, and another storyline had Data becoming Leonardo da Vinci's apprentice.
I'm so glad they did not do this.
But
He would do it
but the writers
well.
decided that while they had some interesting concepts, they felt the movie would be too kitsch. Also, Patrick Stewart, who plays Picard, was like, "I'm not wearing tights," and so that's what happened there. There's also another version of this film where Picard helps Zefram Cochrane fly into space, and Riker goes in to go fight the Borg, and Patrick Stewart was like,
Riker's the one with the mustache that directs well.
Yeah.
That
Right.
acts me. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Cool.
Patrick Stewart playing Picard said, "Hey, look, I think it's more appropriate if I go fight the Borg because I was a Borg."
Absolutely.
And so that's why I got switched. So that's a little apocrypha of what could have happened.
The more you know.
The more you know. So
In this case is very helpful because the less you know, the more you're confused.
Bless your heart.
So here's some bar trivia.
I'm ready for trivia.
I love trivia.
Got a couple questions, then I've got some things I'll talk about.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
terrible
I'm
at
ready.
trivia.
Ready? How many Borg costumes were there?
1.
Oh,
I feel like they just cloned the same person over and over and over.
No,
again.
there were several people that were Borg. I would say 75.
So between 1 and 75. Okay. 8.
Really?
I won without
Oh,
going
wow.
over.
Yes.
Guys, I
so
won.
I would give that point to Justine. She went
Yeah.
over. There was 8, and
I am
then
the champion.
they were used for people, and they were also used on mannequins. So in the background,
Okay.
but totally 8 total costumes.
That's nice. Okay.
It didn't seem like there was a lot in each scene, though.
Well, it's true. When now you think about it,
They could just,
but Borg
but
are
they'd
pretty
have to get a lot of the
scary,
same
so-
size people.
Also,
But if they were using mannequins, like
They
that's
were.
easy. You can make
In
those
the
the size you
alcoves.
want.
Right, basically what was going on. So James Cromwell was not their first pick for Zefram Cochrane.
Who was Cochrane? That was Babe.
Yeah, babe.
Oh, okay, cool.
That'll do, pig.
And so, who do you think they were trying to get?
Oh,
can we
instead
at
of
least
Babe.
have some multiple choices?
Yeah, give me some options.
All right, so
Let me guess first because you know people, so mine will be funnier because I
Okay.
don't know people, and then you get the right answer.
Bruce Willis,
Okay.
Tom Hanks,
Oh,
or Robin Williams.
oh, that is intense. Hold on. Let me think. Bruce Willis has a lot of action. Tom Hanks.
I'll let you guess first.
Okay. Who was the other one? Robin Williams. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to go with Bruce Willis.
I'm going to Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
I don't know. That'd be weird.
He is a huge Star Trek fan.
Really?
I knew that.
Huge
Okay. I didn't know. That's why you couldn't go first.
He's a huge Star Trek fan, and the only reason why he couldn't do it because he was finishing up that thing you do.
I mean, when my entire family went and worshipped at the feet of Star Trek, all I could say that those guys are having so much fun. Look at those phasers, man. Oh, geez, they get to go on he gets to sit in that chair. He gets to sit in the comm. He gets to run the Enterprise. Oh, man. How come I can't do that? I never get to. What a jip.
We're doing more,
I like Tom Hanks. He's
Have you seen that
amazing.
movie, That Thing You Do?
I have not.
Okay.
It's at your house.
Oh, is it?
You own it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Fun fact. Those are Josh's.
Right.
Those are like people that are like, why does she have movies she's never seen? Okay, that wasn't my collection.
Yeah.
That's just in my house.
There you
Let's
go.
just
It came in the marriage.
little asterisk there.
Okay. Next.
That's
it?
Well, that's for the questions. I think maybe I can turn one or two of these into questions in a little bit. But so April 5th is the day for first contact.
Right.
Like that's the day in the movie, or
Yeah.
that's the day it was released.
No,
Like, is this real life or spaceship trivia?
This is in the movie.
Okay, cool.
In the fictional universe, April 5th is the day for first contact. Ronald Moore, one of the writers, picked it. Why did he pick it?
It's his wedding anniversary, so he would never forget it and not get in trouble again.
That sounds pretty legit.
Close. It's his son's birthday.
There you go. I'm gonna say that actually sounded pretty legit.
I feel like the anniversary would be more contrived of a
Son's
number
birth-
than a birth, but it's
I
a man.
mean,
Ugh.
I don't know.
Dates are hard.
All right, so here's some general trivia. Alice Creed suffered much discomfort through the movie. Her costume was too tight, causing blisters.
You think?
And the silver
Was that the queen?
Yeah, that's the queen.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And the silver contacts she had to wear were so painful she could only keep them in for 4 minutes at a time.
Oh God.
Really?
Yeah, that's just hell.
Okay, imagine having to be that intense and sexual and powerful, and the whole time going, what are we at? 3 minutes?
That's before they could like CGI the contacts in,
I don't
man.
think they could. It just took time and money. I think we had some. There's some CGI. in
That's
this
some
film.
acting though to get him in and then immediately jump into that character, and you only have a time frame before you have to take him out again.
So all the scenes filmed inside the silo where the Phoenix was taken were taken out of Titan Missile Museum located in Green Valley, southwest of Tucson, Arizona. The site is the only intercontinental ballistic missile, the ICBM, silo complex in the world that's open to the public. The 110-foot tall Titan II rocket has been demilitarized, so it doesn't have any fuel or nuclear payload because of a bunch of treaties. And in fact, one of the 2 silo doors must be remained open at all times for Russian satellites to verify. I just thought that was
That's kind of awesome.
That is a neat little fun fact.
The song Zephyr Cochrane plays on the jukebox is Ooby Dooby by Roy Orbison.
Right.
As this was originally released in 1960, the song is 103 years old by the time the movie is, and so it's a classic for him.
That's classic, all right.
The star date given in this movie is 50893.5. Star dates is how starships keep up with date and time in space.
Okay.
Because
Right.
we keep up with date and time with this, the Earth going around the sun. They don't have that option, so they've got this system worked out for it, which roughly translates to November 22nd, 2373. Coincidentally, that's when the movie was released in theaters, November 22nd, 1996.
Very cool.
That's a neat day to release it.
Yeah, so.
Was it like a weird day, like a Tuesday?
But on Earth, it was like
Friday.
2040 something in the movie.
Well, so it's 2373 when the
No, I'm talking about when they go back to Cochrane.
Oh, it's like
2040,
Yeah, it's like
something
2040, something like that.
Just a few years from now.
Yep. So
we're gonna see it.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I have it here. April 5th, 2063. Is
2063.
First contact day will be a Thursday.
There you go.
It's a good day. Thursday's a good day. Let's do it.
So that's our trivia. Rounding out the show, we're coming up to time to pay the tab. How much do you think this movie cost to make?
Oh, well, since she didn't get to have those CGI contacts and had to suffer through 4 minutes, I'm going to say, what year was it made?
Yeah.
Released in 96, so they made it in 95.
96. Okay, I asked that like that makes a difference for me. I still have no idea. I'm going to guess 25 million.
25 million.
I'm going to say 10 million.
45 million.
Jeez.
How much do you
think? They
think?
should have CGI'd those contacts on.
That's a lot of money.
When you paid 45 million, you can pay another 1,000. Okay.
True. How much do you think it made?
Like total or first weekend?
Total world during its worldwide.
Okay, so what number movie is this of Star Trek?
Number 8.
That's right.
I would say 160 million.
I want to say it doubled what it costs.
So you think 90 million?
Yeah.
You're close. 146.
Okay.
It released on the weekend of November 22nd. Where do you think it placed?
What else came out?
I will tell you. Space Jam, Ransom, Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way were released that weekend too.
Space Jam, then.
And The Mirror Has Two Faces.
I'd say second.
I would say second to Space Jam.
It won the weekend.
Really?
Was
That's awesome.
Space Jam second?
Yeah, Space Jam was second.
Yes.
Won the weekend with $30 million, and I read the rest in order. Space Jam, Ransom, Jingle All the Way, which was its opening weekend. The Mirror Has Two Faces.
That's awesome.
How do you think it ranked entirely in 1996?
With that much money?
Yeah.
Do you know all the things that were released in 19?
In the top 10. I'm going to say top 10.
I'll say top 5.
So pick a number.
4.
7.
7, 4, 17th.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay. We were both wrong.
Number 1 was Independence Day.
I forgot about that.
Number 2 was Twister.
See, unless I can see what movies released
I've seen
that year,
both
it's
of
hard
those,
for
by
me
the
to-
way. I like to get credit when I need to get credit.
There you go. You saw those.
Number 3 is Mission Impossible.
Seen that.
I've never seen any Mission Impossible
Oh,
movies.
how fun. Something I've seen all of and she hasn't.
I don't like the short guys.
Yeah. Who needs to fight? What's his face
We
still?
should do either Mission Impossible 1 or 2 because they're fun.
How about I pick which one?
Yeah,
then that would be a fun week for me.
There you go. Well, I think I would understand the movie.
Okay. Well, in all fairness, you don't really have to watch them in order, so yeah, you would.
Number 4 was Jerry Maguire. I like the fact that the 2 Tom Cruise movies were back to back. And number 5 was Ransom. Do you might remember Ransom?
I do
Did I
remember
watch that?
Ransom.
Who's
I
in it?
asked you.
That's the
you
Liam
would know.
Neeson movie, right?
No, Mel Gibson.
Oh, wait.
I haven't seen that. I don't think I've seen that.
Which one was that? Taken. That was Taken.
I've seen the Taken movie.
No, Ransom had Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
Yeah, I do remember that one. That was the gritty one, right?
Right.
Yes,
yeah,
I do remember that one. That was in that weird color film.
So yeah. And so that was 1996.
Awesome.
So, do you recommend this movie?
Oh, me? To my friends, no. To people who like Star Trek, sure. I'd be like, I mean, if you know the people, by all means. Like, I feel like it's essential to continue the story for you. But to my friends, I'd be like, oh, you haven't seen Star Trek? No. Don't do it. You're gonna scratch your head when you're done.
Bless her heart. Absolutely. Absolutely do I recommend this movie. I love this movie. This is a great Star Trek movie.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, and it does help to kind of know the people.
I feel like
that's
if I
what's
was
going on,
involved in the story and watched this movie, it does seem like it might have been like a fun, like they go back. Anytime you have to go back and you experience why is it I can't think of any names, titles, or people when we're all together? Brie Larson. Captain Marvel. Okay,
Yeah.
no one had to help me with that. I did that by myself, just so we're clear, because I love that movie. Like when she goes back and she lands in a blockbuster, that's just fun. That's fun. You're like,
That was
oh,
fun.
hey, so I feel like it probably is a fun movie if you know
what's going on.
Literally anything about Star Trek besides the Vulcan salute, anything else, it would probably be fun.
I rewatched this with you.
Yes, you did.
And it had been a minute since I had seen it.
It's not very long.
I don't think it held up. I don't think it aged very well.
Really? I do. I just loved it.
I think I still think it's the best out of the Next Generation films. There's 4. And it's the only one I like.
It was very quirky. It reminded me, and I don't know if it's just because like they say assimilate, but it reminded me of Doctor Who in that kind of
right. It's got a good.
and that kind of like Doctor Who bothers me because I've only seen what Josh has watched in the background. Like I haven't watched the show.
I've never seen Doctor Who.
I just need to point that
I
out
have
there
no
because I
idea.
know that there's a big fan base. But it's very simple. The tricks and the stunts are very simple.
Right.
And having gone to film school in a more modern society, it's hard to watch
She went to
those.
like an Amish movement because she's
Right.
never seen anything.
Well, right. Like, so I mean, like I know the techniques
She went to a
of
Pennsylvania
it.
Dutch film school.
I did not do that. It was out of California, but still, like I just haven't. Most of the things I've seen have been because of film
Right,
school.
right,
so,
right.
but it's hard for me to watch that and be like, they couldn't have done something different. Like that looks very fake. That happened a lot in this movie. It was very fakey looking, like with the satellite dish that they were trying to release. I was like, why did that happen? Why were they able to do that? It was like, oh, just ignore them. You're literally next to them on the satellite dish.
But
It's obvious
you would
that
have
you're up
to
there.
know the background of the Borg to understand that.
I agree with that as well, but
See, I
it
disagree.
seemed very easy. Everything was easy.
I disagree. They tell you that kind of stuff in the movie. You know, they don't.
They might have told you, but I did not hear it.
I don't know. I liked it.
So I
loved it.
And I don't know why you did because they do tell you that they will ignore you.
Well, I
If
heard
you're not a
that,
threat.
but it's
If you're
like
not a
I
threat.
heard that. It doesn't make sense to me. That's
It's
like
like
a silly
snakes.
writing thing.
Snakes are deadly, but 9 times out of 10, if you're not a threat, they will ignore you. They will not strike
So,
you.
I mean,
bees
but I
won't
did-
bother
I
you
did
either
hear
unless
that.
you. Bees
Yeah.
won't
Bees
bother
don't
you.
bother you either.
Until you mess with bees, and the bees will lose their mind.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me how it was just like, I'll just pretend like I'm not doing something, but they're still messing with the computer.
Yeah,
they're
they're
busy.
they're having to do stuff. They
It's-
have a mission.
It just everything seems so easy. Like it happened, and you were like,
What they're doing is
Why?
they're taking the ship and assimilating the whole ship and turning it into a cube. Is what their job is.
they like cute.
Ish.
So would I recommend it? I guess begrudgingly. I guess I don't think it held up very well. I don't think I ever have to see it again either. I mean, it's.
I would totally watch this again.
I mean, if it's on, I'll watch it, but it's not like I won't. This is not like my favorite one in the series is Star Trek 2 because I think it's almost from a filmmaker's perspective. I think it's near perfect. But for pure entertainment, I'm just like, and growing up, I really liked the Borg, but now as I got older, I just like I'm not into it, and so I just I watched it. I was, I know it, and this was like. I'm just not wasn't into it.
Give him about 5 years.
I think regular Borg stuff, but there's something the Borg Queen to me is sexy.
Okay.
There's just something sexy about the Borg Queen that I've always
She's
just
lean
kind
and
of
weird looking. So
You just like powerful women.
I do.
That's why you're drawn to me.
And that's exactly why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was our thoughts on it. If you have thoughts, please
comment.
Please comment. We'll
Yeah,
talk about it
we
next
need
week's
some
cult
comments,
meeting.
people.
I need names, guys. I need names.
Yeah, we need to name Justina.
Please make it awesome. And I love.
Did you
What-
like
what
First
is it?
Contact? And let us know what you liked about it. Because, like I said, I think we're interesting divided on this. I think it's Stephanie's really really into it.
I was confused.
Right.
I
Justina's on
left
the
it with
opposite-
no thoughts.
Right. I think Justina's on the opposite, and I'm kind of in the middle. I'm like, meh.
Meh.
I'll take it. And I mean, it's fine for what it was, but I'm not. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I don't have to see it again, and if I do, it's not that big of a deal. I'm not going to cry over it.
Please don't.
So.
I'll bring tissues.
Oh, you're so
Aw,
sweet.
I got you.
I got you. So, you can follow us on our Facebook page at Cult Movie Cantina Mopcast. And that's where you can.
Yeah, please give us some feedback.
You can also find us from ScottyWhite.com. That's where everything lives.
Absolutely.
I don't know if y'all want to give up Twitters and stuff. My Twitter is Scotty White at Scotty White, and my Instagram is at Scotty O White.
My Instagram is always Stephanie.
I honestly don't remember. I think my Instagram is at Justina Jareen, which is also my Twitter. Or wait, Justina Jareen for Instagram, and then at Justina Jareen for Twitter. Just start with Justina. I'm sure it'll pop up.
Well,
How many Justinas y'all know?
I mean, I'm on Twitter too, but
I'm
I
never
think it's
on there.
Something. I don't know. Anyway.
I'm always on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Those are the three I'm on.
Yeah.
So-
Instagram for sure. Anyway.
But we'll have them all listed on our show notes, so you can click right to us, and that's what we'd like.
I like making new friends, guys.
We make new friends.
Come on.
Next week's episode is a cult meeting, and so we'll talk about hopefully your comments about this plus some other stuff.
The homework we have left Scotty with.
I've got some homework, and also I really really want to talk about the Lion King. I have thoughts about the Lion King.
Okay.
Have you? Is it out yet?
No, not the new one. I saw the old one this weekend, and I have.
When does the new one come out? It's in July.
Yeah, July.
Okay, cool.
We could do the Lion King on the show. That's either one of them.
Now I'm gonna
I will
watch
sing
the.
the
I'm gonna
whole
watch the
time.
old one. I'll watch the old one beforehand so that I can also comment. I've seen it before,
Oh, yeah.
just so we're all clear.
Matata.
Disney movies, I've got a lot of those.
So,
okay.
So this is Scotty saying, "This is our contribution to the multiverse. Go out and make yours."
Yes,
Night.
please.
Thank you for listening to the Mopcast Network.